Okay, this is strange. Usually, a lot more people are here by now. I wonder if the notifications are going out or if I messed up on my tweet. What the heck's going on here? Well, I'm glad those of you are here. Hi, this is Morning Light Live. And I suppose people are strolling in. I'm assuming you guys can hear me just fine. It's me, Marty. And we got some articles. You know, maybe I'll take this hat off. It's putting too much of a shadow on my face. This is my Floyd Mayweather Oscar De La Hoya hat. I'm going to be wearing it in a video that I'm making right now. Well, that I'm almost done with. And, you know, whatever. Yeah, it is Memorial Day weekend. Okay. Yes. Go out and think about those who have served this country or even served your community. And think about them. So anyway, let's hit the intro and we'll come back and hopefully a few more people will pop in. So I'll see you in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night. Stop the music. Hello. It's me, Marty, your host, aka PDawg Night, as they call me on the internet. And welcome to the Morning Night Live. Now, it is Funky Friday. I'm trying to get this to a sound level that's going to work. Let's just try this right here. That's a little on the high side. So, you know, I got to get this figured out. Oh, I might have done it. Hang on. Let me fix that. Yeah, there we go. We can just have a little funk. And we'll have some fun, too, today on the Morning Night Live. So, it is the Corona apocalypse, and there's many governors out there who have been just trying to keep it under control, right? And just, you know, I get it. They want to do what's right for their constituents, but in several cases, the constituents have... let's just say there's a little backlash going on. So we're going to just check in with a few of our governors and what's happening in certain states. There are certainly some favorites. There are certainly some not favorites. And, you know, we'll just see what's happening with the governors. Also, there's, what else do I got? I want to talk about, there's an issue with the nursing homes. Obviously, there's a big issue with the nursing homes. I think we need to touch on that too. So, but before I do that, I'm going to do my normal good morning to everybody. Now today, first in the chat was Ms. Cindy Rochelle, who gets the bell. Woohoo! Welcome to the show. Also, good morning to Johnny Hellcat, the first person ever to watch the Morning Night Live. Also, good morning Tyler F., Renee Matt, Jay Wolf, is Mike Savage, Blarg, Smarty Bear, Kingslayer, Damocles, Jay Wolf, Green Thunder Demighty, Sean DW, Gunfox 61, stopping in to say howdy. And I'm not late. I was right on time. You're late, sir. You're late. Just whatever. Also, good morning, RVA Dar. Let's see. As I scroll down here, sorry, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Good morning. Also, good morning, Donatello Slapafellow and Cryptic already in the Cryptic first to hit the chat today, or the super chat today with the $3 super chat. Thank you, Cryptic, and good morning, Cryptic. Love the butt sex music. Yes, it is Funky Friday. Now, I don't know that I would call it. Well, let me hear this. I'm listening a little. I got to turn it up so I can hear it. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I guess I wouldn't have called it butt sex music, but it does have a little bit of that. What would you call it? We used to call it the old. It's the 70 porn vibe to it. Now, whoa, that's weird. But now we got a little. Yeah, this is a little more. This is almost a little more 80s funk feel to it, doesn't it? You know, like you'd hear from like a band like Shalimar or maybe the Jets. Remember the Jets? They were a Minneapolis family that sang some fun songs back in the day. Good morning to Unholy Reaper. How you doing? Good morning. Yeah. All right. So like I said, it's Funky Friday because we gonna get funky. And let's get into it. Okay. So I was saying that we were. Oh, I better turn this down because it'll be distracting me. I have it up really loud, and I'm going to turn it down just so I can barely hear it. There we go. Good morning, Stab and Joe Scarborough, too. Hey, did we ever take care of that intern, Joe? Did we ever figure out what was going on with that? Never mind. Oh, and we've got our second super chat of the day. Well, we are rolling along from the Duck Tater. It says, hey, my new card works. To whomever in England that stole and bought my card numbers, fuck you. And that is verbatim what it says in that super chat. Fuck you. So yeah, whoever took Duck Tater's card, go to hell. He's got a new one, and it works. That's awesome. All right, and good morning, Selected Boy. Yeah, boy. And Tales of Gore. Oh yeah, it has a Morris Day vibe to it. It has a Minneapolis sound vibe to it, doesn't it? It kind of sounds like a song that Prince would have written for the time, written for the time, or who's that other? What's that one dude? Alexander O'Neal. It sounds like an Alexander O'Neal song. I don't know if you're familiar with Alexander O'Neal, but those are some of the funk bands from back in the day. Anyway, all right, let's get into today. Talk about some governors. Now, first of all, I have actually some sad news, and not necessarily sad news for you, and not necessarily sad news for me, but some sad news for Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Oh, did I say Whitmer? I meant Whitmer. Apparently, a judge has decided to rule in favor of that barber. Judge rules in favor of Michigan barber refuses to order barbershop to shut down. Yay! But for Gretchen Whitmer, of course, that's a... good morning, Advocatus Diaboli. The devil's advocate is in the hizzo. Okay, 77-year-old Carl Mankey just notched another legal victory, but the Michigan Attorney General is warning they will appeal. Lansing State Journal reports that an Owasso barber who has kept his shop open despite a suspended license and a cease and desist order from the state will not have to close, a Shiawassee County judge ruled Thursday. Michigan Attorney General's office filed a request for an emergency temporary restraining order against barber Carl Mankey when he refused to close his shop after receiving 2 citations, one for violating the governor's executive stay-at-home order and another from the county health department. Shiawassee County Circuit Judge Matthew Stewart decided Thursday not to grant the Attorney General's request, allowing Mankey to stay open. It says to watch here. What am I watching? There's nothing to watch. Anyway, Mankey's become a cause celebra for those who oppose Governor Gretchen Whitmer's stay-at-home orders and want the state to reopen. He inspired a protest at the Capitol Wednesday called Operation Haircut. Oh, it's Bitchler now. Thank you, ZZA, and good morning also. Also, Green Badger Outdoors. Hello, how you doing? Although his license is suspended, Mankey was on the Capitol grounds cutting hair on Wednesday. Stewart said the decision was a close call. In an opinion issued Thursday, he said it makes sense at face value that putting people close together for prolonged amounts of time poses a public health risk, but the Attorney General's office failed to say how Mankey's shop was a risk. Although Michigan Chief Medical Executive Dr. Joné Khaldun said in an affidavit that Mankey's shop was a public health threat, Stewart said she gave no reason why. The Attorney General has not presented any studies underlying the doctor's conclusion. The Attorney General has not shown any nexus between the cutting of hair and increased risk of transmission, Stewart wrote in his opinion. The Attorney General's filing rests more on general facts about COVID-19 than specific practices or conditions at Mankey's business. Stewart said, while the Attorney General's office maintains that every second Mankey operates constitutes an irreparable injury, the fact that the office sought a civil remedy instead of a criminal one, Mankey could be arrested for violating the stay-at-home order, detracted from its argument. The Attorney General's office spokesperson Ryan Jarvie said the office plans to appeal Stewart's decision. The Court of Appeals retained jurisdiction over the case when it ordered the trial court to hold a hearing, so the Court of Appeals is where this matter will ultimately be decided. We look forward to having our day in that court, the office said in a statement. Well, I hope the Court of Appeals tells them to shove off too. The Michigan Attorney General has had a difficult week, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Good morning, Adam Richard. Welcome to the chat. What's up, dogs? Adam says. I love it. Good morning. And it was always Bitchler. Okay, Cindy, I got you. I feel you. All right, before I move on, we're gonna get the shill over with because I always wait too long. I don't know why my studio's not updating, so I'm hoping you're getting a nice smooth stream. And it looks like we have more than 6 people here, even though it says 6 on my board. Oh, we're up to 32. Holy moly. Y'all are rolling in like crazy. Welcome to everyone who's has to lurk in the background because you're at work or you're driving or whatever you do. But anyway, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, if you would be so kind, whether you're watching in the background or whatever, please share the stream out with the people you hang out with on the internet. And then also, you can do that a couple ways. There's that share button somewhere down there. You can go on Twitter, Minds, or Gab, but you can follow me there. Although Gab is still down. Gab is kind of fucked up right now. But I don't really use Gab, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, follow me on Twitter or Minds, and you can retweet or repost what I put out there. And or you can click the share button, and it'll give you some options of where to share it out. Also, 32 up. Okay, I don't know what that means. 34. I don't know what's the numbers up here going for. And we have another super chat from Cryptic with another $3 super chat. Quote, there's a video yesterday of Biden saying to black votes, if you vote Trump, you ain't black. Oh, damn. Cryptic, if you have that, if you have a link to that, please put it in the chat. I am just, oh, damn. Oh, you know what? I got a feeling there's going to be a hashtag. It's going to be something on Twitter. You may not even have to put it in the chat. I got a feeling that's going to be in the Twitter trends today. So we'll see what happens with that. Also, if you would be so kind, if you like what we do, throw a couple bucks in the tip jar. If you are able, the Streamlabs super chat link is in the both in the description down below. It's also right below my body here. It says at PDawg.live. And also, it is in the chat. It says super chat link here. And the show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations to have your super chat read live on the show. Click that link. So, all right, let's keep it going here. Let's see, we already talked about Governor Bitchler. Cryptic can't link. Okay, you follow me on Twitter, right? Why don't you either put it under the hashtag, hashtag PDK News. Okay, all right. Oh, thank you, Maddie. Maddie got it here. Let's check this out. I want to see this one. Oh, Joe Biden. Oh, dude. He's on with Charlamagne the God. Oh my God, he went on the Breakfast Club. So, it's funny because the Breakfast Club is kind of a must stop for any Democratic candidate. I would like to see Donald Trump go on the Breakfast Club, though, with Charlamagne the God. I don't do social media, but the fine folks did it. Yes, thank you. And also, good morning, E. Michael. Let's check I gotta see this. Okay, we'll just put it on the screen here. Here is Vice President Joe Biden on the Breakfast Club. I just want to hear him say it.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Oh my God! I need to see a longer clip of that. I definitely need to see a longer clip of that. Holy smokes! Lawrence B. Jones says, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Oh, really, Joe? Lawrence B. Jones ain't happy about that. I'm sure there's. Let's see if anyone else. According to Joe, being black is not a skin color or race. It's who you vote for. Oh, that's a snap. Someone named Charles says, wow.
Wow.
And then we got Becky Jordan who says the elitist left never understand how racist they sound. And anyone else talking about this? Well, we'll probably, I'm sure I'll show it. It is trending on Twitter right now. So we'll get into that a little more later. All right, let's get into the next story because we're talking about governors today. And Governor Tom Wolf of Pennsylvania says Pennsylvania cannot return to normal without a foolproof vaccine. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Robert Reason. That's another name I don't see that often. I'm glad you're here. Pennsylvania cannot fully return to normal until a foolproof vaccine is available, Governor Tom Wolf said on Wednesday. Why is it all the Democrat governors? They are all power tripping. It's crazy. Please look at Massachusetts governor. He's a bitch too. Oh, bitch, LOL. We'll check. I don't know if I have one on him today. But I've got a few of them. Anyway, when asked if the return of large events are contingent on a vaccination, Wolf said Pennsylvanians need to be confident that the novel coronavirus is under control and treatable. He said he believes it will take a vaccine or some assurance that they are not going to get sick to attend big events, go shopping, and return to school. Oh, wait till you see the CDC guidelines on that they're trying to put together for kids to go back to school. Holy shit. I'll try to get that in trends. Kingslayer Damocles, did I miss you? Because I thought I saw you on here earlier. Also, good morning. This is Kyle. I'm glad you're here too. All right. Ultimately, the governor says, I think it's going to take for everybody to feel safe again going to a Penn State game or a basketball game is that they have some confidence that they're not going to get sick by being in close contact with somebody else, Wolf said, noting that the state is focusing on testing and contact tracing. I think that's what it's going to take to really get our economy back to normal, and I really think that it can't fully happen. Or it can't happen fully 100% until we have a vaccine that is foolproof. He said, that is my own stance. Two other Democrat governors have also hinged their hopes on a future normalcy on the development of and availability of vaccine. Until a proven vaccine is widely available, we cannot firmly enter the new normal when life will once again return to all our workplaces, downtowns, and main streets, New Jersey Governor Philip Murphy stated bluntly on Monday. California Governor Gavin Newsom also said the Golden State will not be going back to normal until a vaccine is available. You know, do they realize that vaccines can take a year or sometimes 2 years to actually develop, especially when you're coming from scratch with like something like a COVID-19, a coronavirus? It's not like a flu vaccine where you take the last flu vaccine and you adapt it and blah 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 blah, maybe get it out within within a year. This is crazy. It is crazy and foolproof. Yeah. Illinois governor withdraws an emergency rule criminalizing business owners because he was going to criminalize business owners. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker on Wednesday opted to withdraw the harsh emergency rule his administration filed last Thursday, which criminalized business owners in violating his stay-at-home order. The emergency rule had non-compliant businesses facing a Class A misdemeanor for reopening against the governor's orders, an action that could have carried jail time or a fine of up to $2,500. A Pritzker spokesperson at the time described the rule as an additional enforcement tool for businesses that refuse to comply with the most critical aspects of the stay-at-home order. The governor faced a slew of backlash, and while he has continued to defend the sentiment of the rule, praising it for giving more flexibility in the enforcement of his orders, he is urging the legislature to come up with a measure with that same intended mechanism in a phased manner in line with the Restore Illinois plan. You know, like I said, it's amazing. First of all, so they're having these are emergency orders by the governors. You know, has anyone noticed something that might be a problem when they say, okay, okay, listen to this again. The emergency rule had non-compliant businesses facing a Class A misdemeanor for reopening against the governor's order. Now, who can tell me what's wrong with that? Like, let's say that someone comes in and cites your business, and they say, we're citing you for this Class A misdemeanor because you reopened against the governor's order. It's not a law. The governor can't just make up a law and make up a fine out of thin air. That's what I don't get. Unless it's actually part of the law. How do you do that? I don't get it. And a lot of these governors are just like, well, I said so because I said so. And by the way, that is the title of this stream today. Because I said so. That's why. It's amazing, the power trip. Apparently, too, let's see. It quickly became clear that Pritzker's emergency rule lacked teeth, as his administration's general counsel, Ann Spillane, admitted that nobody's getting arrested or handcuffed. Oh, is she happy about that? Or is she not happy about that? I am just so curious. Oh wait, where's my? Let's see. There's something on here I'm missing. Let's see. That. Oh, it's the Price is Right. Oh, it's not. Oh, that's gay. Anyway, by the way, good morning, Big Chief Fuzzy Beard, and somebody else popped in as I was talking. Oh, Molly Mags, how you doing? Good to see you. All right, now. I just laughed at this. Nobody's getting arrested or handcuffed. Well, I'd be pissed if nobody's getting arrested or handcuffed. Holy smokes. But they are getting a citation where they would have to go to court, Spillane stated. Additionally, the Illinois State Police released a statement clarifying that the department would not issue any criminal misdemeanors to individuals for violations of temporary emergency rules or executive orders. Quote, the Illinois State Police will only apply those emergency rules to entities such as corporations, LLPs, or other business entities consistent with state and constitutional law, the department stated, stressing that officers would not arrest an individual for violating the governor's executive orders or emergency rules. We encourage our citizens to continue to do their part to maintain public health as we move forward in the days ahead with reopening Illinois, the department said. So, and obviously, you know, I don't know why this is a partisan thing. It seems like the Republicans want things open and the Democrats don't. But is it because, like someone in the chat, I saw you earlier said something that Whitmer, Bitchler, whatever the hell her name is auditioning for the vice president spot, and I don't know if that helps her or not. It could help Joe Biden in Michigan a little bit because some people still like her. A lot of people still like her, and a lot of people really don't like her. So I don't know. I don't know if that is the right deal or not for her. But anyway, by the way, as always, I do have my cup of reparations coffee with me, and today it's the what is this one? It's the Fueled by Gangster Rappin' coffee mug. So. That is quite tasty. Oh, and we have our next super chat of the day. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
What Did this pedophilia cracker just say I'm not black enough to vote for him? Okay.
That's right.
They're one surefire way to get back to normal and open up the country, vote this motherfucker out of office, or just open up anyway and say fuck the police.
That's right.
Oh man. Anyway, yeah, thank you, sir, for the 420. That's the old that's the Snoop Dogg alert on the 420. I bet you don't know why that is. Actually, on 420, we did a whole day of 420 super chats, and it was Snoop Dogg all day. Okay. Next article. Oh, I never even hit the transition there, did I? Not that I'm transitioning, but I'm transitioning the screen, and well, you know what I mean. Anyway, amazing. I do have to get amazing on one of my soundboards. All right, continuing on this theme, back to Gretchen Whitler, whatever we want to call her in 2020. New coronavirus data gives reason for hope and reopening. This is by Tyler O'Neill at PJ Media. Remember the phrase 14 days to slow the spread? When social distancing began in earnest in March, political leaders encouraged Americans to stay home, avoid crowds, and minimize their exposure in order to prevent hospitals from getting overwhelmed. Coronavirus hospitalization data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention suggests that early social distancing measures worked. Hospitalization rates peaked in early April, even in hotspots like California and New York. Other conditions used to justify the original lockdowns have also not held steady. So why is so much? Oh, I'm going to pause and read this super chat. Thank you, Smarty Bear, my friend. Here's some grabble for your babble. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Smarty Bear. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. So why is so much of America still in one phase or another of lockdown? Well, there are good reasons and there are not so good reasons. First, the data. Justin Hart, a San Diego area digital strategist, ran the numbers at the CDC's Emerging Infectious Diseases Project, also known as EID. While our leaders fret and our hospitals furlough, the EID COVID-19 numbers are out, and they show that the overall hospitalization rates peaked over a month ago. On the week of April 5th, Hart tweeted with a graph showing the trend for New York and California. Note also the massive differences between New York and California overall per week. Given what you can see with your own two eyes here, does the rhetoric of your leaders and media reflect this, or do they still push an unrelenting, massive existential threat from COVID-19? He asks. There we go. That's what he says right there. While the hospitalization rates in New York and California peaked in the week of April 5th, the rates in Connecticut skewed the overall network rates on the CDC's EID widget. While New York's hospitalization rate peaked around 8.9 per 100,000 in the week of April 5th, and California's rate peaked at around 3.6 per 100,000 during that same week, Connecticut's rate did not peak until April 18th with 37 per 100,000. And they're showing you the graphs there. Even so, a full network graph clearly shows a peak on April 18th with 9.5 per 100,000, slightly above the peak of 9.1 per 100,000 on the week of April 5th. The peak of the coronavirus hospitalizations has come and gone, and there's even more reason to be rosy about America's chances for beating the virus. Good morning, Augusto Pinochet, sir. The president is here. Thank you for showing up. Also, RVA Dar and Katie Did Skate. I am so happy to see you. Early estimates of the COVID-19 death rate cited to justify the lockdowns have proven so far too pessimistic. In March, the World Health Organization estimated a 3.4% fatality rate. And Dr. Anthony Fauci estimated that the fatality rate of the coronavirus was about 2%. But remember when he said that? And Donald Trump said, I think it's going to be much lower than that. Maybe 0.5% or less. And the media just jumped all over him for even suggesting something that may have slightly been different than Dr. Fauci. See, Barack Obama's not the only one who gets those. As PJ Media's Matt Margolis reported, at least 5 studies have placed the death rate below 1%, confirming President Donald Trump's hunch. Recent studies have found that far more people than expected have COVID-19 antibodies, meaning the virus has spread faster than previously thought, but also proving that it is far less deadly than previous thought. The data raises so many questions about the continuing lockdowns. If the hospitalization peak has passed, hospitals will almost certainly not be overwhelmed by the pandemic, and government should re-examine restrictions on elective surgeries and other medical practices. Personnel on the front lines of the coronavirus should receive priority access to personal protective equipment, but the bans on other medical practices should be lifted. Yes, because I have my hips killing me. I need to go see a doctor. Personnel on the front lines of the coronavirus. Oh, I already said that. Non-essential procedures have been canceled, draining hospitals of much needed cash right when hospitals are needed to fight the pandemic. That's the thing, too. If your hospital is sitting empty and you're furloughing people who work in hospitals, how are you paying for all the other shit? Huh? How you pay? I mean, granted, the government's subsidizing half the COVID patients, but how are you paying for the other shit? I'm just asking. Meanwhile, in the broader economy, millions are out of work, driving unemployment into levels not seen since the Great Depression. A recent study has found that the coronavirus anxiety, including increased anxiety from economic insecurity of the lockdowns, threaten more health damage than the lockdowns could possibly hope to save. No fewer than 500 physicians sent President Donald Trump a letter warning about the health dangers of the lockdowns. In medical terms, the shutdown was a mass casualty incident, they wrote. So why have the coronavirus lockdowns continued despite this tremendous economic and health cost? Well, to be fair, many leaders are afraid to reopen the economy right away. After consulting with Heritage Foundation's Coronavirus Commission and many others, President Donald Trump laid out a phased opening plan based on milestones for decreasing coronavirus spread. As different regions of the country record a downward trajectory in coronavirus cases, they should reopen in phases. Yet, the delay in reopening is also political, I should say. Good morning to the gayest person on YouTube. How are you? By calling everything people. Yeah. How are they paying for it? Gayest person on YouTube says, by calling everything people are sick with COVID-19. Yeah, that's the truth, isn't it? Yet the delay in reopening is also political. A recent study showed, and this is what I just said, I think, that Democratic governors were 3 times more likely than Republican governors to impose a lockdown. This would make sense given that Democrats control over many population centers experiencing large outbreaks. New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C., for example. However, the study found that counterintuitively, the percentage of the state's population infected with COVID-19 had the weakest effect on the governor's decision of all of the 4 variables. Democratic governors like Whitmer, I'm sorry, have insisted that they will follow science. She blinded me with science. She blinded me with science. Science. And that reopening has nothing to do with politics or pressing concerns about economic devastation. This is a transparent dodge. Michigan's Republican-dominated state legislature has sued Whitmer for her attempt to overrule the legislature and extend her tyrannical lockdown. Court of Claims Judge Cynthia Diane Stevens heard arguments in the case on Friday and has yet to issue a ruling. In some cases, it appears that state and local leaders are using the coronavirus to justify a power grab. No way! No way! There's no way. Good morning, Richard Cranium. Left-leaning leaders also may prefer the technocratic approach of putting health officials in charge of complex decisions that involve far more than just health concerns about the virus. This progressive approach overlooks the devastating side effects of continued lockdowns. To be fair, Governor Jared Polis, Democrat of Colorado, has begun reopening the economy. He even revised down the numbers of COVID-19 deaths recently. Good for him, because there were so many ones that weren't that. Anyway, Polis deserves credit for bucking the trend. When Republican governors have issued lockdowns, they have also lifted them. Governor Ron DeSantis, Florida, has handled the crisis well, but left-leaning media outlets rush to condemn him and praise Governor Andrew Cuomo, whose inaction arguably contributed to the New York City area become the U.S. epicenter for the virus. Also, he was killing people in nursing homes, so there you go. Meanwhile, Democrats in Congress have repeatedly obstructed relief efforts in an attempt to push their pet projects and never let a good crisis go to waste. Presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden has called the coronavirus crisis a wake-up call on climate change. Fuck off. Oh my gosh. Good morning, Willett Forge. And an opportunity for structural change. What is structural change? For a structural change on voting and climate change. Yes, the most important thing about this coronavirus outbreak is that we have mail-in ballots and do more climate change shit. Anyway, whatever their motives, liberals tend to prefer extending lockdowns while conservatives are clamoring for the economy to reopen. Both have legitimate concerns, but the data suggests that coronavirus threat is far less dangerous than it appears. All right, moving on. Let's see. David Horowitz says science and liberty over power. Ron DeSantis delivers for the people of Florida. Yeah, I think he has. I think, his little sidewinder the other day was pretty awesome. Good morning, Evan S. I'll say hi again to Willett Forge. Also, good morning to Amy in Connecticut. I'm so happy that you're here. That's my little, that's my Bill Murray. That's my little Bill Murray imitation, so kind of. Well, not quite. His lounge singer thing is much more animated, just so to speak. I don't know. By the way, also thank you, Maddie. Wait, what? Oh wait, what does this say? Oh, Maddie, thank you. Now I must have been having a moment of clairvoyance, because as soon as I say your name, a super chat pops up. Thank you, Maddie, for the $5. Hundreds of thousands of people died due to COVID. Environment most affected. Yes. Don't forget women, Maddie. Women are definitely most infected, even though a vast majority of the COVID deaths are men. I wouldn't say the vast majority, but a significant majority of COVID deaths are men. Women most affected. Also, Legends goes to find listing for a house and sends me. I dial the number and I get immediately put on hold. And now I'm listening to an interminable ad about how to assume the mortgage on a home foreclosure. Good thing I'm listening to PDawg Night's live stream too. Aw, Maddie, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. All right. Let's get into the next one here. So we were talking about Ron DeSantis, who actually has, he seems to have done it right, because I think Florida has, is it the first or second most retirees in the country? It's either New York or Florida, either one. You know the difference in how things are happening. Now, I still have a strong belief that there is something about the climate, and I don't mean like having to do with climate change, but that study from the University of Maryland. I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of those guys. By the way, if I can, I will have them on a stream. Probably not a normal morning stream, but I'll schedule a special stream because I want to talk to those people who did that study in Maryland. In fact, let me pop that up because I just tweeted that out on Twitter earlier. This study that from the University of Maryland, right here. Let me click this. So this was a study that I found in March. That's from the Maryland Today. That's not who did the research, but anyway, What tied together COVID-19 outbreaks in the Chinese city of Wuhan, in northern Italy, in Seattle, and elsewhere? What could this knowledge help prepare for, or even head off, the future spread of the disease? University of Maryland researchers are zeroing in on temperature, humidity, and other factors that apparently contributed as part of a fast-tracked broader study designed to give scientists and public health officials a prediction tool for the novel coronavirus pandemic. As of today, the virus has killed more than 10,000 people. Now, this was back in March. Now we're at over 300,000 people around the world, infected hundreds of thousands, and is radically disrupting the lives of billions worldwide. So what their study was is they've looked at the combination of temperature and humidity and mapped out where these cases are. And all the most prevalent places are in this kind of green zone where the most cases are. So New York's in that green zone just barely. There's Washington, Washington, D.C., New Jersey. Now, Michigan's just above it, but most of their cases are in Detroit, which is in this green zone. But you look at Spain, England, France, Germany, Belgium, the UK, all in this green zone. Italy, okay, now, and then Wuhan is right smack in this green zone. Now, I don't know. Oh, excuse me, that's not Wuhan. That's the Middle East there. But over here, so it's interesting. Oh, Iran, though. That's where Iran is right here. This is Iran. Now, they're starting to see a lot more cases in Brazil right now, which makes me think, now Brazil's not on the equator, is it? I wonder if it's in southern Brazil, because they're going into their fall, like in their cooler season in southern Brazil. So I gotta figure there has to be something to this, and it seems that way in the United States, where Florida and Texas are kind of at the bottom of that zone, and even California. But you look at New York, you look at Illinois, you look at that part of Michigan. It'll be interesting to see if that holds true. All right, he had everything to lose and nothing to gain by standing for liberty, balance, and prudence, the Constitution, and a long-standing epidemiological science. In the third largest state in the nation. It also happens to be the state with the most senior citizens at risk. He could have declared himself king of his state, as so many other governors have done, and would have received accolades instead of visceral derision from the national and local media for doing so. His approval ratings could have skyrocketed like those of Governor Cuomo of New York, yet he allowed his approval rating to tank because he stood on the right side of history. Can anyone say Ron DeSantis for president in 2024? I hadn't really thought of that. I don't know. Anyway, it started with the pictures of the students on spring break at Florida beaches, where people from all over the country were likely to spread the disease everywhere, according to the media. Never mind the ironclad research showing little or no outdoor transmission. Coronavirus is killing us in Florida. Ron DeSantis, act like you give a damn, read an editorial from the Miami Herald and it says Mach 22, but it was March 22. They said DeSantis was killing his state's people by not issuing a stay-at-home order early enough and never issuing a full lockdown against church services and other activities. Then on May 4th, he decided to end even the tepid lockdown. Last in, first out. Well, what are the results? Despite the fact that Florida is the haven for the most susceptible to the virus, the elderly, the state's numbers beat almost every comparable state. So this is showing fatalities per 100,000. Here's Florida at, 8.8, compared to other states like Illinois, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, all higher than them, even though these are the populous states. And then COVID deaths by day statewide, you can see there was obviously a curve up and a curve back down. But on May 19th, they were down to like 3. Anyway, Florida's never had a disproportionate surge from locking down late and then enjoyed a sharp drop in hospitalizations after opening up, much more than most other states. Well, probably because they didn't send all their senior citizens with COVID back to nursing homes. Also, the number of patients on ventilators dropped by 55%. The data are so compelling that now the media are trying to insinuate that DeSantis is cooking the books. They just can't seem to believe in simple science that lockdowns don't work and that there's no outdoor transmission on beaches. Now they are denying the data. And DeSantis had some choice words for them. We saw this yesterday. Okay, if you want to watch DeSantis this little spiel again, put a 1 in the chat and put a 2 in the chat if you don't, or any other number. But put a 1 in the chat if you want to see it again. But I'm going to skip it for now. DeSantis mentions an important point so many forget. His state was the top destination of wealthy New Yorkers fleeing the hardest hit state and coming to Florida. Yet, rather than violate people's rights and shut down the entire state, DeSantis used his head and struck the right balance. More importantly, he focused on securing the nursing homes, the exact opposite of what was the celebrated Andrew Cuomo did when he purposely sent COVID-positive patients into nursing homes to kill everyone else there. While 45% of total deaths in Florida were in nursing homes, lower than the national average, the raw numbers were way down for a state this size and shockingly low considering the nursing home population of Florida. Looks like people who voted are all voting one. So let's listen to Ron DeSantis and his speech. Well, just his little words for the reporters. Let's hear this. Oh, it's muted.
Our data is transparent. In fact, Dr. Birx has talked multiple times about how Florida has the absolute best data. So any insinuation otherwise is just typical partisan narrative trying to be spun. And part of the reason is that because you got a lot of people in your profession who waxed poetically for weeks and weeks about how Florida was going to be just like New York. Wait 2 weeks, Florida's going to be next. Just like Italy, wait 2 weeks. Well, hell, we're 8 weeks away from that, and it hasn't happened. Not only do we have a lower death rate, well, we have way lower deaths generally. We have a lower death rate than the Acela Corridor, D.C., everyone up there. We have a lower death rate than the Midwest, Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio. But even in our region, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida has the lower death rate. And I was the #1 landing spot from tens of thousands of people leaving the #1 hot zone in the world to come to my state. So we've succeeded, and I think that people just don't want to recognize it because it challenges their narrative, it challenges their assumption, so they got to try to find a boogeyman. Maybe it's that there are black helicopters circling the Department of Health. If you believe that, I got a bridge in Brooklyn I'd like to sell you.
Fatality.
Our data.
Okay, so anyway, DeSantis took them out with body shots. Anyway, there were more deaths in almost every individual borough of New York City than the entire state of Florida. Also, Florida has 4.4 million people above the age of 65. Queens has just 322,000, 13 times less, yet had nearly 3 times as many deaths. Now consider that Cuomo is a hero to the media, even after the nursing home scandal, while DeSantis is treated like dirt. And while it wasn't cool and heroic as locking up every healthy person with a near zero risk in their homes, DeSantis quietly barred hospitals from sending COVID patients to nursing homes, the exact opposite of what Cuomo and many Democratic governors did. He also used the National Guard to secure nursing homes rather than spy on people. The results? New Jersey has, 51 senior care centers out of every 100,000. 51 senior care residents out of every 100,000 people died. In New York, nearly 27 per 100,000 have died. Even in smaller and younger Colorado, more than 10 nursing home residents have died per capita. In Florida, just 3.5 per 100,000. In the state of God's waiting room, just 0.008% of the population died of COVID-19. DeSantis was even pressured by the White House to go along with the flat earth lockdown science, but he understood that the threat of the virus is limited to a known population and that outdoor transmission is negligible. So he put his resources where they were needed. Interestingly enough, rather than shut down all road construction as nearly every other state did, DeSantis stepped on the gas pedal and took advantage of the low levels of traffic to build more highways than ever, so not to inconvenience people later on. There you go. I think they kind of did that here too, though. This is the sort of policy entrepreneurship he promised on my podcast 2 years ago when he was in Congress running for the GOP gubernatorial nomination. Now, just imagine they had a choice between him and a guy passed out naked in a hotel with a gay escort. With what was it? High on meth. Oh, they could have had Governor Meth Head. Oh, darn. By the way, good morning to Jonas Pedersen and TC Ball. How you doing? What is really going on in the media is the use of coronavirus as a pretext for what can only be described as utter despotism of lockdowns. This is the new flat earth science. Just as with political leaders during the time of Galileo, you're not allowed to believe in basic science when these simple facts refute the established line of thinking. Thus, all precautions must be taken to burn down anyone who questions the orthodoxy or demonstrates its folly. What made George Washington a great statement was not the way he projected power, but the way he abdicated power when he could have abused it without any opposition. Ron DeSantis came into the crisis with one of the highest approval ratings and could have ridden the wave with everyone else and enjoyed even more power. But he trusted Floridians to exercise prudence and self-government and refused to violate their rights. And that's the mark of a statesman. All right, so it finishes with this. As Mark Twain said, in the beginning of a change, the patriot is a scarce man, and brave, and hated, and scorned. When his cause succeeds, the timid join him, for then it costs nothing to be a patriot.
That's right.
All right. I did that for Jonas because he just typed that. All right. So, yeah, DeSantis is doing good. Now, speaking of Bill de Blasio, this is from the New York Post. Bill de Blasio thinks walls don't work, but fences do. Don't you oh my gosh. Don't you defy his no swimming edict, Mayor Bill de Blasio warns. We're putting fencing in, and in reserve that could close off the beaches as needed. Funny, he used to think barriers don't work. For example, okay, so apparently he's fencing off all the beaches in New York. For example, Blas told Fox News' Sean Hannity that President Trump's proposed wall on the Mexican border wouldn't work, as illegal immigrants will enter the United States with a wall or without a wall. Are fences more effective? Ironically, His Honor says the point of his ban is to keep people off the subways. What? So anyone who owns a car can drive to the beach elsewhere. It's only those who, what he used to call the other New York, who will have to sweat out the Memorial Day weekend. Okay, so apparently he's closing off the beaches for Memorial Day. Not good, de Blas. That's a mayor, but you know, he's got a lot of people under there. He's an asshole. Speaking of which, the Michigan Attorney General, now this is what I wanted to get to. The Michigan Attorney General says that petulant child Trump is no longer welcome in Michigan for not wearing a mask. Oh my gosh. A little clown horn for the AG of Michigan. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel accused President Donald Trump of setting a bad example by not wearing a mask during his visit to a Michigan Ford plant. Trump, who says he wore a mask on some parts of that visit, was never seen in front of cameras wearing one. And the Daily Caller reports the Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel said she is following through on a threat to keep Donald Trump out of her state. Now, I am just curious what her plan for that is. The President of the United States coming to your state. How do you keep him out? He has his own private plane, and he has his own police force that protects him. And certainly I'm guessing that your police force probably would not have the balls to try and keep him out. So I'm just curious, Dana Nessel, how you plan on accomplishing this. She says the president is no longer welcome, Nessel told CNN's Wolf Blitzer on Thursday, after saying earlier in the day on CNN that Trump would be asked not to return if he did not follow the state's guidelines. Not following the guidelines on social distancing and mask wearing cannot be tolerated. Okay, Karen, I got your point. This morning, you said right here on CNN that if President Trump doesn't wear a mask, he'll be asked not to return to any undisclosed facilities in New York State. Is the president no longer welcome in Michigan? Blitzer asked. Nessel responded, speaking on behalf of my department and my office, that's right. That's exactly right. Oh, I'm sure you have the power to tell the president of the United States not to come to your state. And also, you know what else she said it was doing? She was talking about, okay, well, if we could maybe find the companies that invite him to their where they are. No, you can't. What state law? Oh my God. Anyway, good morning, Gamer Valine and Maniac Man. And I already said hi, Rich Cravey. Oh, and Mooly Pooch. Mooly. This one I always mess this one up. Mooly Porchers and Straight Sith Mail. All right, we got everybody so far. How's everybody doing, by the way? Anyone got any big plans for the long weekend? I know in some places it's hard to actually even. Well, it's hard to find anything that's open to do. I know here in Minnesota, they have. Did they open the parks? They've opened parks, I think. But it's hard to say what we're going to be able to do this weekend. We'll probably just stick to doing stuff around the garden and still maybe doing some barbecuing and stuff like that. Is Pirate Pete? Where's Pirate Pete, by the way? He's not here. I was going to ask him something, but I'll catch him on Twitter. Also, good morning to Small Man. How you doing? Just saying, is Trump not her boss? Well, no, she technically no. She is the Attorney General for the state of Michigan, Small Man. And but I just laugh that she thinks she can keep him out of the state for not wearing a mask. I mean, I don't. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Good morning, Kessler. How you doing? Okay, so enough of that nonsense. Who else? And now, speaking of not wearing a mask, apparently in Illinois they're really down on this mask thing. And well, I told you I told you that story last week about the mask and going into Menards. Went into Menards, and we had to wear a mask, and they made you go to the customer service counter to buy one instead of just having someone there, but that's too long of a story. GOP state lawmaker was kicked out of Illinois House session for refusing to wear a mask. Now, okay, I get the mask thing. And telling people that they have to wear a mask is, if you're yes, a mask can help. Yes. And even the CDC is not, or even Dr. Fauci doesn't necessarily think that the mask is one of those things that's going to keep you from getting this. There's so many conflicting stories on what mask will actually do. But here, the lower chamber voted 81 to 27 to have Representative Darren Bailey removed from the floor. Oh my gosh. A Republican lawmaker was booted from a session of the Illinois House of Representatives on Wednesday after the chamber voted to have him removed for refusing to wear a mask in accordance with a new rule amid the coronavirus pandemic. Now look how far away Representative Bailey is from the next representative, far more than the 6 feet, and he's not talking like straight at somebody. Renee, if you require me to wear a mask to frequent your establishment, I will not patron your establishment. Now, for example, at Jimmy John's, where I do a little, I run lunches out during the lunch hour. We have to wear a mask in the store, and I'm fine with that. That's just, if that's what our boss wants, that's fine. And he's not making the customers do it because the customers aren't staying there to eat anyway. But if there's a business and they say we want you to wear a mask within our business, I suppose they can do that. I don't care if they do. Now, you have the choice, like Who said that? Somebody said that. Was it Renee? Renee. Like, Renee can choose or choose not to patron that business. That's fine. But I'm just, it's getting silly. Anyway, the Chicago Sun-Times reported that Representative Darren Bailey refused to wear a face covering during the first 3 sessions, prompting his colleagues, including some fellow Republicans, to vote 81-27 to have him kicked out. The action, obviously, I should say obviously, well, it's not obviously, but damn, you just never know. The action did not remove him from office, and he's still able to return to the people's business if he falls in line, step in line, do as I say, because I said so, falls in line and wears a mask. Following the motion, the acting speaker declared, "Dorman, please remove Representative Bailey." But Bailey did not appear to be bothered by his dismissal from the session and left with a smile on his face before greeting reporters outside. He told the press, "It's time to put an end to this stuff and say enough is enough." State Representative Bailey has been an outspoken critic of coronavirus-related restrictions, according to WMAQ-TV. The Republican even sued Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker last month for extending the state's stay-at-home order mandates. Pritzker called Bailey's decision to refuse to wear a mask a callous disregard for life. No, it's not. In fact, there may be even some science that says you're more likely to get COVID by wearing a mask all the time, because you're always fucking around the mask, adjusting it on your face, touching your face. What if you? Well, we'll get to that in a second. Other GOP members had threatened to attend House proceedings without wearing facial coverings, but ultimately decided against fighting the rule. Representative Chris Miller told WMAQ, "If we are required, I will play along. I don't want to be a distraction from the real issues of JB's failed leadership." Damn, that's shots fired. Anyway, all right. Let's see what else I got here. The faulty model of fear mongering. We're going to skip that one. The only opposition that will matter to today's lockdown fascism will be opposition expressed in the ballot box. I'm just going to read the beginning of this because I thought it was pretty good. In the past week or so, there have been numerous stories in the press suggesting that Americans have finally lost patience with the unreasonable Wuhan flu lockdowns that have been arbitrarily imposed in the past 2 months by elected officials, sometimes indefinitely, for no justifiably rational reasons. In Michigan, there were armed protests, and then barbers began publicly defying the lockdown orders of their fascist governor. Now that's a little spicy way to put it. Governor. In New Jersey, a health club defied the order that the state's fascist, they said it again, governor reopened it to cheers from its customers. In Baltimore, a pastor stood at the pulpit and ripped apart the shutdown order by the city's health department. In Minnesota, the Catholic Church announced it was reopening for church services in direct defiance of the orders of the state's governor. I could cite many examples across the country in both conservative and liberal states. Are these pushbacks necessary? Certainly. These fascists, there's that word again, governors and mayors, most of whom have been Democrats, have imposed unreasonable and blatantly illegal arbitrary restrictions on the freedoms of Americans. Don't forget, we're Americans, which must be resisted at all costs. Are these pushbacks real? Forgive me, but if I must say sadly, forgive me if I must sadly remain skeptical. For 50 years, I've watched as politicians, mostly from the Democratic Party, but with more than ample support from large numbers of Republican Party hacks, have slowly but steadily worked to erode the freedoms of Americans. All to no avail, the authoritarians and lovers of big government, almost all Democrats, have kept winning elections, even when they have lost, such as the landslide congressional elections of 2010 and 2014. The victories were Pyrrhic. Obamacare was not repealed. The federal government and its regulatory agency, regulatory state kept growing, and the rights and freedoms of Americans were continually squelched. In 2018, congressional elections illustrated this well. Despite a slander campaign just before the election by Democratic politicians in Washington against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh that would have made Goebbels proud, the Democrats in that subsequent election were rewarded by the voters, able to limit Republican wins in the Senate while solidly retaking the House of Representatives. Yeah, that's what's happened. Even Trump's election victory in 2016 has been somewhat hollow so far. While he has clearly shown his willingness to push back against the Washington power brokers, causing them to even attempt a coup against him, he has also shown a fearful unwillingness to fire many of these same people, unelected bureaucrats. Fire many of these same unelected bureaucrats who helped him institute that coup attempt. In this sense, Trump has so far been a paper tiger. Well, we'll fix that. We're gonna have to fix that, right? All right. I'm not gonna read the rest, but you get the idea. We must oppose this. We must oppose. By the way, this was by someone named Robert Zimmerman. Oh, is it? Robert Zimmerman, the guy from Hibbing, Minnesota. Oh my God, why am I blanking? Yeah, that's his name. Oh my God, I can't believe the times they are changing. What the hell? Somebody tell me. Oh my God. Somebody tell me the name I can't think of right now. All right, it's that time, people. We got to get into Twitter trends. We're basically calling her a Nazi. I don't think fascist is going too far. It seems like it. It's just like it's just power trip. They call Trump a dictator, but holy shit, did these governors all turn into that? Let me see. There's a couple. Let me check. Do I want to read these? Pennsylvania Republicans torch petty tyrants Tom Wolfe and Rachel Levine. Oh, I do want to. Well, not. No. Robert Zimmerman. Bob Dylan. Thank you, Gillum Ice. Bob Dylan. I've seen Bob Dylan's boyhood home in Hibbing, Minnesota, because he lived a block and a half from my wife's grandma's house. They lived we went to go see the old house. He said, "Oh yeah, Bob Dylan was born and lived right over there." So anyway, about the same time her dad, although they didn't know each other. Thank you, everyone, for giving me the Bob Dylan. I did want to touch on the nursing homes. I got a couple articles about the nursing homes, and I think it's important. So I may skip Twitter trends today because I think this is a much more interesting issue. Exclusive. Pennsylvania Republicans torch petty tyrants Tom Wolfe and Rachel Levine over nursing homes. Pennsylvania congressional Democrats remain silent on Governor Tom Wolfe's decision to put coronavirus-infected patients in nursing homes, while Pennsylvania Republicans chastise the governor for endangering the state's elderly in exclusive statements to Breitbart News. Wolfe, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, and New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy have all received intense backlash for forcing nursing homes to accept coronavirus-infected patients. At least partly due to the order, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania have three of the four highest deaths in long-term care facilities or nursing homes. Breitbart's Michael Patrick Leahy noted that more than 2/3 of the 4,505 who died of the coronavirus pandemic in the state were residents of nursing homes and other long care facilities. Pennsylvania Health Secretary Rachel Levine, the nation's highest-ranking state transgender health official, came under fire for removing. Now they put his own. I'm going to be. What's the word? Charitable, and just say her own. She removed her own 95-year-old mother from a nursing home in Pennsylvania while supporting the governor's decision to require nursing homes to admit those who tested positive for the disease. Wolfe came under such controversy as that he said on Monday that he would be open to a federal investigation into the administration's handling of the coronavirus outbreak in nursing homes. So anyway, let's see. Breitbart News wrote about how New York and New Jersey congressional Democrats have remained silent on their governor's decision to mandate that long-term care facilities host coronavirus patients. Breitbart News sent comment requests to Pennsylvania congressional delegation, House and Senate, and Democrats have ignored the request for comment. So this is just who hasn't decided to weigh in on it. However, Pat Toomey did weigh in on it. It is clear that aggressive measures should have been taken in Pennsylvania to protect nursing home residents and prevent outbreaks in long-term care facilities, particularly those in the Pennsylvania Department of Health, who knew they were ill-equipped to control the spread of the virus. And then another Republican, Scott Perry, also chimed in. I'm not going to read the rest of this one because there are two more. I have a couple more stories on nursing homes, and the next one is Andrew Cuomo. Oh, hey Larry, how you doing? Hello, hey Larry. Also, Andrew Cuomo, the one who everyone is praising, except for people who live in New York, he blames Trump's Center for Disease Control for the nursing home deaths. This is fascinating. New York Governor Andrew, and guess what? You know what's going to happen? The media are going to go along with this BS. It's unbelievable. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo on Wednesday attempted to shift blame for a state's nursing home coronavirus. Holy shit, my eyes just went. Okay, my eyes just completely blanked out for a second. I'm very tired. I've had two very long nights. For the state nursing home coronavirus deaths on to President Trump, saying he was merely following guidance from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Oh, now let's see how he gets around this. Cuomo has received harsh criticism for now reversed March 25th directive regarding nursing homes, which reads, this is what he said on March 21st. No resident of a nursing home shall be denied readmission or admission to the nursing home solely based on a confirmed or suspected diagnosis of COVID-19. Nursing homes are prohibited from requiring a hospitalized resident who is determined medically stable to be tested for COVID-19 prior to admission or readmission. This week, Representative Elise Stefanik called for a federal investigation into Cuomo and his administration over the handling of this nursing home policy on Tuesday after 5,800 nursing home and adult care facility residents have died from the illness. And here is Governor Cuomo. Oh, no. I'm sorry. That's 54 minutes. Here's the key part of the transcript. A reporter said there's a call for a federal probe into how the state handled nursing home situations, specifically the March executive order allowing COVID-positive patients back into the nursing homes. In reflecting on those comments, I was wondering why was that executive order made at the time? Cuomo says, look, this is a political season. I get it. I have refrained from politics. I'm not going to get into the political back and forth. But anyone who wants to ask why did the state do that with COVID patients and nursing homes, it's because the state followed President Trump's CDC guidelines. Oh, so they should ask President Trump. I think that will stop the conversation. Wow, there's some buck passing. Are you fudging the numbers? Because that's the accusation you're facing, that you're changing the numbers to make Cuomo cuts them off. Let's do one at a time. Your first point, why did the state do that? Because the state followed the president's CDC guidelines, okay? That's that answer. No numbers were changed. Another reporter asked, but Governor, you've shown willingness to thwart President Trump at other times. Why in that March 25th memo did you not thwart him? Why did you follow CDC guidance? And do you regret that? Cuomo says, no, not at all. I mean, considering the death toll, Cuomo, and here's Cuomo's answer. Well, you have to remember the facts. I know that you're the New York Times, but facts are still facts, right? Oh, he takes a shot at the media? Is he saying that the New York Times is unreliable? Even at the Times, okay? Here are the facts. The CDC guidance said a nursing home cannot discriminate against the COVID patients because at the time the issue was hospital capacity, right? No, my God. They never had hospital capacity. Remember the hospital capacity? And we were dramatically increasing hospital capacity, which means you should have had more room for those patients. If a person doesn't need an urgent care bed in a hospital because they are not urgently ill and it can take 2 weeks to test negative when you're no longer urgently ill, is the best use of a hospital bed to have somebody sit there for 2 weeks in a hospital bed when they don't need a hospital bed because they are not urgently ill. They're just waiting to test negative on the antibody test, which can take 2 weeks, and you need that hospital bed for somebody else who may die without it. The second fact, the nursing home cannot accept a patient who they are not qualified to handle. Oh, what makes you think that the nursing home is qualified to handle? Oh my God, never mind. For a COVID patient, a nursing home must say, I can quarantine, I can isolate, I have the right stuff, I have the right PPE, or else that nursing home should not take that patient. And the third point, we always had alternative beds. Any nursing home that says I can't take that COVID patient for whatever reason, I don't even care what the reason is, I don't have the staff, I don't have the time, I'm overstressed, I don't have PPE, we will always have alternative beds. But no, you told them they must take them back. Oh, you liar. Oh. But he's the darling. He is the darling. All right, let's do a quick round of Twitter trends and get out of here. Let's see here. Let me just do this. So I got a DM from, we'll check this real quick. Oh, yes, I know who you are, Gabriel Valine. I know Gabriel Valine has a different name on the Twitters. Oh yeah, we did see this one earlier. I want to see if this is a longer cut of this clip of Joe Biden though. Let me see.
My community.
Hang on a second. Okay, so Candace Owens weighs in. If you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Candace Owens. In fact, here's my take on some of the Blexit folks, okay? There's someone I follow on Twitter. His name is Jeff, and he calls the Blexit folks Sesame Street conservatives because they've learned how to spell, but they haven't really learned how to put words together. And Candace is one of those. Yes, she can spit out a talking point. Sometimes the things she says are correct. Sometimes they're I don't know what the name for it is, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of her. I'm not a fan of Brandon Tatum. Although I've followed Brandon Tatum forever, but I'm just not. Anyway, but she put this up. Wow, Joe Biden tells Charlamagne the God that if blacks have to think about whether they are for Trump or Biden, then you ain't black. Here's the longer version of that clip we saw earlier.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community.
See now, I like Charlamagne's answer there.
I will.
It's a long way until November.
Because Biden should have said that, and Charlamagne, that's going to come back. That's going to come back
Trump,
to him.
And you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. Listen. All
right. So anyway, I'm sure that's true. All right, let's get into the trends and get out of here. On the Explore tab, they did it again. They keep doing this. Hydroxychloroquine linked to an increased rate of mortality, a new study finds. A new study of nearly 15,000 COVID-19 patients published on Friday in the medical journal The Lancet found that those being treated with the antimalarial drugs hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine are at a higher risk of death and irregular heart rhythms than those not receiving this. Read this and more. Oh goodness, that's going to be the one today. That's the one we're going to hear. Large study finds hydroxychloroquine treatments linked. That's the one they want to hear. 1 in 11 patients in the control group died. 1 in 6 patients treated with chloroquine or hydrochloroquine alone died. 1 in 5 treated with chloroquine and an antibiotic died. 1 in 4 treated with hydrochloroquine and an antibiotic died. Okay, well, there you go. Now they're going to be all over Trump for this one and the trials. I got a feeling that that's going to be the big news today. Everyone's going to be talking about this one. In fact, let's go ahead and see what the other ones. Updates: Tokyo Olympics may not go ahead in 2021. We talked about that yesterday. Even if a vaccine is developed. Let's see. New research. No evidence of benefit for chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine in COVID-19 patients. Urgent randomized trials are needed. Finding from a large observational study of nearly 15,000 patients with COVID-19 and 81,000 controls. Now that's interesting. Urgent randomized trials are needed. So this doesn't sound... Okay, so let's see. Study finds use of chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine with or without macrolide is linked to increased rates of mortality and heart arrhythmias among hospital patients. Let's see here. Okay. That's very interesting. Okay, I guess we'll find out about that one later. All right. Now let's get into the actual trends today. Number one trending on Twitter right now is Jerry Sloan. Jerry Sloan passed away. Oh, good gosh. Longtime Utah Jazz coach. Jerry Sloan has died at age 78. So there'll be people who know the NBA. Jerry Sloan's a great coach. Boy, was he... he had those Jazz teams in the 80s with John Stockton and Karl Malone. Had some great teams. Made it to the NBA Finals against the Bulls, although they did lose to the Bulls in the NBA Finals. Rest in peace, Jerry Sloan. Number two on the trends today, You Ain't Black is number two. This is the one I just want to go through a little bit today. Let's see. You know that You Ain't Black is trending? Hell no. The soon-to-be coming walk back that won't be accepted. Why? Because dude got comfortable and said exactly what the fuck he meant. Oh my God. I don't know if it's hard to say, there's because a lot of black people who are going to vote for Donald Trump, most likely including yours truly. And I'll tell you what, let's see. Senator Tim Scott slams Joe Biden for his You Ain't Black comment. Here we go. Let's hear what Tim Scott says about it.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump.
And even, look, even Charlemagne, you could tell when he said, no, I don't want to hear that. Because Charlemagne is kind of even though he has all the Democratic candidates on his radio show, he ain't afraid to ask them questions that they don't want to answer. He got when he got talking to Elizabeth Warren about her Native American heritage. Ooh, he did not pull any punches whatsoever. And I got a feeling that when Joe Biden comes back to his show, because Joe thinks he said something smart there. Look at the smile on his face. He looks like he feel like he said something real. Just like when he was talking about 7-Elevens way back when. you can't go into 7-Eleven without seeing somebody from an Indian person. And I mean call center India, not casino Indians. But anyway, yeah, he just, I don't know. But anyway, let's hear what Tim Scott has to say about this.
For my community, I would love to see.
Take a look at my record, man.
Take a look at my record, man. Let me know, man. Let me tell you the deal, man.
Joe Biden says, "You ain't black." Response.
Oh Lord, he stepped in it.
That is the most arrogant, condescending comment I've heard in a very long time.
God.
That's saying something. The man who sponsored and led the charge on the 1990s crime bill that locked up more African American males than any other piece of legislation, and President Trump comes along and through his criminal justice reform corrects the absolute mistakes made by Joe Biden. For him to make such an arrogant, ridiculous comment to If you think about the numbers, 1.3 million African Americans voted for Trump. He's saying to 1.3 million African Americans that you're not black? Who in the heck does he think he is? That is the most arrogant, outrageous comment I've heard.
Body blow, body blow, body blow. Katrina Pearson, today Joe Biden said, "You ain't black." Typical white liberal. Team Trump, sorry to inform all the black Trump supporters that you ain't black. Oh, this walkback's going to be delicious. Someone's going to, you know what? But no one in the media is going to ask him about that. Unless, I'll say this, I am black and I'm not offended by Joe Biden's "you ain't black" quip. I don't care. Well, Brooklyn dad defiant. Holy smokes. This race is between him and Trump. Trump is the guy who said shithole countries, my African American, and tons of other shit. I won't be distracted. Neither should you. Well, Brooklyn dad defiant, like you, I am also black. And it's pretty damn condescending. Who you vote for, it has nothing to do with your race. Okay, it has to do with decisions you make. There are no kings at the gates of Eden, says Biden is getting worse every day. I can't imagine saying to a black person ever that if you don't do this, you don't do that, you ain't black. That is the height of racism and white supremacy. He really, oh, damn, she threw out the white supremacy thing, or he, whoever this is. He really wants to lose, doesn't he? November is looking bleak and this country is in deep shit. If Bernie would have said, "You ain't black," he would have been crucified 3 times and twice on Easter. So I tweeted, "I don't get the outrage over 'you ain't black.' And now I have leftists in my replies calling me a slave. The hypocrisy eludes them." Oh my goodness. Who is this? Jody Axam. Does Joe Biden think it's such a good idea to tell people to look at his record? His record is littered with racist policies he supported. The more you dig, the worse it looks. I wonder what Charlemagne thought when Joe Biden broke out his "you ain't black" routine. Dean Obadiah, TDS Central, says this coming from a person who okay, wait a minute. Mercedes Schlapp says Joe Biden has no respect for blacks, and his "you ain't black" comment. The one guy who supported the crime bill, which led to mass incarceration of so many black men. Dean Obadiah replies, this coming from a person who works for Trump, who called white supremacists very fine people. You dumbass, he did not call white supremacists very fine people. Oh, you caught me with the very fine people thing, you dumbass. And black NFL players, sons of bitches. Well, he didn't call them sons of bitches because they were black. God, you dumbass. Y'all can't, you just can't help yourselves. You ain't black if you don't do what Master Joe Biden tell you. You know the Jim Crow segregationists who spent decades lying about being part of the civil rights movement and get arrested for fighting for Nelson Mandela, who wrote the crime bill creating mass incarceration. Apparently you ain't black unless you support this piece of shit. Come on, man.
Make the streets safer. I don't care why someone is a malefactor in society.
By the way, that is Joe Biden when he can still talk.
Someone is antisocial. I don't.
By the way, listen to Joe Biden speaking in this clip. He can talk still. Listen to him.
Sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society. Try to help them. Try to change their behavior. That's why we do in this bill. We have drug treatment and we have other treatments to try to deal with it. But they are in jail.
Listen to Joe Biden talking like he can talk.
My mother, your husband.
Oh, whoa. He don't want black people around. My mother, my wife, your husband. Oh, Joe. Oh, Gamer Valine, thank you for the 333. We got a little Shackadelic going on. So, you mean that Dr. Carson is a white guy? I met him years ago when my aunt worked with him at Hopkins and had no idea. Yeah, I guess Dr. Ben Carson ain't black. I don't know. Ooh, Lord.
But
anyway, that's back when we can skip Biden when he could talk. We'll skip that. Kanye West. I will not be told who I'm going to vote on because of my color. Kanye West. Joe Biden's "you ain't black" comments are disgusting. That's from Team Trump. People are mad. Well, some people are mad. You know what? This is fodder for the Trump people. I got a feeling there'll be a few people. There'll be a few that black people are going to ask Mr. Joe Biden, how about you explain yourself? And some will be celebrating it like Brooklyn Dad Defiant, but who cares? All right, let's move on. Moving on, something. Okay, this is a K-pop thing. Skip. Memorial Day weekend is this weekend. Let's see what the top trend or top tweet on this. Hey y'all, we are Impact RPG. Okay, that's an ad. I don't care about that. Tomb of the Unknown Soldier on Memorial Day weekend is something that they do the change of the guard or change of the wreath. This is always a solemn moment. Anyway, all right, so there you go. All right, move on. We know it's Memorial Day weekend. Friday Feeling will skip. Charlemagne is... oh, interesting. Now, Twitter's Moment says, Joe Biden sat down with Charlemagne the God and discussed the black vote. In a nearly 20-minute interview, the presumptive Democratic nominee for president spoke about his plans for African-American communities with the radio presenter. Biden's quote that, if you have a problem figuring out whether you are for me or for Trump, then you ain't black, is attracting the most headlines. Shocker. Anyway, I am gonna go back. I'm gonna watch that whole interview now. I want to see what else he said stupid in that, because everyone was doing better until this COVID thing hit, right? Everybody, and that would be us black people too. That I'll say it. Good morning, Check Your Logic. How you doing? All right, moving on. Kwame Kirkpatrick is trending. I don't know why. Isn't he the guy who got? They're releasing Kwame Kirkpatrick. He's the Detroit mayor who went to prison, convicted of perjury, obstruction of justice, and other crimes. I think he might even killed somebody. I don't know. Former Mayor Kwame Kirkpatrick has been granted an early release from prison, according to the Ebony Foundation. It says here he's been granted early release after spending 7 years of a 28-year sentence. Kilpatrick, convicted in 2013 of perjury, obstruction of justice, and other crimes, was not expected to be paroled until 2037. So, not sure why they did it early, but anyway, he's trending because he was sentenced to 28 years, and now he's out after 7, so he's out early. And do we have a? Nope. I thought it was a trend. I thought it was a Twitter trend. Oh, nope. Did Kwame do wrong? Yes. Did he deserve 28 years? He did absolutely not. How do you know? What Kwame did was fucked, but his sentencing was fascio extreme. I don't know that. I don't know about that. I'm sure other people would have been sentenced that long. Anyway, he's trending mostly on Black Twitter. Choice at home search. That is something to do with K-pop. I'm skipping Coach Sloan. We already talked about Coach Sloan. We talked about the Breakfast Club. B. Joe Biden is trending. I gotta wonder what this is. B. Joe Biden. Does that have to do with it? Does Joe Biden think it's such a good idea to tell people to look at his record? Okay, we already saw this one. Can you imagine someone this confused negotiating with China? Here's 5 seconds. Here's a good 7 seconds of Biden that you just want to know if this guy should be negotiating with anybody.
I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden. I'm prepared to say that I have a record.
Oh, that's why it's trending, because this is what he said.
I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
I'm going to beat Joe Biden. You are Joe Biden, Joe. I'm sorry. Every Biden clip Republicans circulated is less than 20 seconds for some reason. It's not. That's not a Republican. Okay, that's Tom Cotton. I guess. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to beat Joe Biden. Okay, there you go. I said it again. Okay, whatever. All right, moving on. Roger A. Why is Roger A? Is that Roger Ailes or which Roger A? Why doesn't Fox News put up the CNBC poll or the, believe it or not, CNN poll? Hope Roger A is looking down and watching what has happened to this once beautiful creation. Okay, so they're calling him Roger A because Donald Trump tweeted it, and if Donald Trump tweets it, it will trend. So we're going to skip that. Karachi's trending. Pakistan passenger plane crashes near Karachi airport, so that's not good. Let's see if there's any news. Pakistan Ranger rescued a child for the PIA plane crash today. So they rescued a child from it who looks fine. Interesting. Sad to hear about the loss of lives in Karachi air crash. May God give strength to all the bereaved families. I pray for immediate rescue for all those who survive. So there were survivors in the plane crash. Let's see. Here it is. A passenger plane crashed in Pakistan. About 100 people on board. The crash happened just days after the country resumed commercial flights. Officials say many feared dead. Crash hit a residential area in Karachi. Plane crashed minutes before landing. But apparently there are some survivors. That's interesting. So, but sad news. We'll probably be hearing that a lot more on the news. Puppy Chow is trending. What a game of what is this called turns it to a cereal concoction. So, yeah, this is a we call this stuff right here. We call that Puppy Chow too. In South Dakota, that is Puppy Chow. Christmas crack is saltines, butter, brown sugar, chocolate chips, and pecans. Okay, someone else calls it Puppy Chow. Okay, here's some of the names for it. Puppy Chow, Muddy Buddies. I've heard Muddy Buddies too. Reindeer shit. Yeah, I've never called it that. Reindeer poo, reindeer chow, reindeer food, snowman shirt, white trash, monkey munch, rubbish, pillows, late night snack, moose tracks, Christmas crack, Christmas time crack, garbage. Okay, well, Puppy Chow and Muddy Buddies. I've heard both of those. Anyway, that's trending because people don't know what the hell to call it. What do you call it where you live? What do you call that stuff? We love you, Neil. That's K-pop skip. Friday morning skip. Friday vibe skip. We'll do one Friday motivation. No, did we have a Friday? Nope, we're going to do Friday thoughts. Flashback. Lots of Friday stuff, though. It's World Goth Day. Oh, my gosh. We're going to be seeing lots of black makeup and eyeliner and people who don't like the sun. Here we go. Here's some pics for World Goth Day. Fantastic. I'm sure you're just thrilled for World Goth Day. And this looks like Britney licking a bottle of Budweiser, even though it's probably not Britney, but that's kind of goth-like. So if you're into the goth thing, hey, this is your day, man. This is your day. You know the deal. You know the deal. Finally, let's finish off with a little Friday motivation. Some of the other things trending, focus on Trump death toll, 100K. Okay, it's whatever. Friday thoughts, Joe Biden is racist. Biodiversity Day, 130 days in PA. Harvey Milk Day. I think this is the day that Harvey Milk was killed. They always have a memorial that day on him. And we're going to finish with Friday thoughts. We might hit a Friday thought, but it's going to be Friday thoughts. Finally, a woman with great hair is fleeing a gothic house. This is a signal to the reader that this is one of those books, not a historical romance, horror, ghost story, but a modern gothic. It's World Goth Days, and that's a Friday thought. But let's have another Friday thought. Oh, there's some. I've seen this one before. The sea lions napping on the boat. Let's see here. Friday. I need one good Friday thought, and oh my gosh, would you dare? Now I got a feeling. I have a feeling that picture probably is an optical illusion. I don't think she's really hanging out over that road like that. There's camera tricks that will cause that. So, whatever. But I just need one good Friday. Get Audie. Oh my gosh. What are you doing? This is, it's our Friday thought of the day. Naughty Medic, Friday feeling myself, fingering Friday, Friday thoughts, Friday morning, Friday motivation, Friday fun day, Friday vibes, Friday mood. I think she's got something going on there that I really don't want to be showing on screen. Okay, there's no Friday thoughts. There's a lot of pictures of cute animals. Okay, here we go. Here's our Friday thought. Honoring the men and women who died while serving in the U.S. military. Thank you all for our freedom this Memorial Day weekend. That will be our Friday thought. And on that note, it's time to call it a day on the Morning Night Live. As you know, we are here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT for those using the GMT thing to figure out where we're at. And I would appreciate it if on the way out the door, you would hit that like button, because we have 49 people, 21 likes. How about we fix that ratio right now? Get that at least up to 45. Everyone, if you haven't hit the like button, hit it on the way out the door. Also share the stream. If you're watching on the replay, leave a comment in the comment section so that I do know that you were here and I can interact with you, at least even in the slightest interaction. That would be fantastic. And finally, if you like what we do and would like to help out the PDawg himself, and hit the tip jar if you can, but it's not necessary. The show is free, but hey, if you like what's going on, throw something in the tip jar every once in a while. That is also our super chat function down in the description down below. It also shows up in the chat. It's also right here at PDawg Night, not live. Also follow me on Twitter, mine's a gab, at PDawg Night. We also use Venmo if you want to do that. That's also at PDawg Night, although I don't promote that too often. But that's it for today, people. I really do have to leave, and it's been great. I hope you enjoyed the time. Lots of people in the chat, lots of people in the watching the show today. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Do something nice on Memorial Day. Honor a vet, or obviously, I'll be honoring my father, who was in the Korean War, although he did not perish there. But think about others this weekend on your extra day off, if you have one. Of course, some of you have had a lot of extra days off lately, but I'll leave it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta go. My name is PDawg Night, and I'm out of here. Bye bye, toodles. Hey, this is PDawg Night, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Night, and I'm out of here.